Well, John O'Sullivan, now you're CEO of Tourism Australia. Some might say it's a slightly poisoned chalice with, budget things and stuff happening. We're not going to talk about those, okay? What we're going to talk about is, this man has come from the sporting world, Fox Sport, a commercial environment, okay? Really pointy end stuff, money motivated and so on. And you've gone into a government organisation or a government-funded organisation, 6 weeks into the job. How's it going? What do you think of it? And what's your vision?
Oh, thanks very much. And it's great to be here with you, John, because I know you've got a lot of interested viewers on your platforms. It's been fantastic. The last 6 weeks I've been made to feel so incredibly welcome by the industry across all spectres, whether that's the big end of town or some of the smaller operators, and the industry associations have been incredibly welcoming. And a lot of that also stems from my previous involvement in the industry with Events Queensland, where I was 2.5 years as the CEO. Interesting about the move from the commercial sector back into government. Fox Sports has got a lot of philosophies that I'd like to bring to Tourism Australia, particularly around innovation, particularly around partnership, and particularly around being overtly commercial. And I think that's been a lot of the success of Andrew's tenure within the business, has been Tourism Australia's ability to innovate, to collaborate, and also to partner commercially, and I'm really looking forward to continuing that.
Now, the Restaurants Australia initiative has just been launched, okay, and I think Nick said in his presentation that it was I'm not sure the words he used were surprise, that food and wine was so important, whereas I think probably most people would think it was really important, but that's developed fairly quickly, hasn't it, as a campaign?
Yeah, it has. Look, it's been based on research, which I think is the most important thing. Campaigns that are built on solid fact and tangible fact are really important. I think the thing about the comment about surprise is an interesting one. Australia doesn't have a national dish. We're not like we're not like Italy. We're not like France.
The Kiwis are claiming pavlova, so it's okay.
That's right. We'll claim Russell Crowe back. But we don't have a national.
Hold on.
We don't have a national dish, but what we have is this great collection of food and wine experiences.
Absolutely.
And I think what was really the highlighting factor for us out of consumer demand research was the fact that after people had been to Australia, in many of our key markets, so places like China, India, the United Kingdom, the United States, we actually go to being the #1 country from their perspective in offering food and wine experiences. And I think that's been the area that's really stood out for us. So the great thing about Restaurant Australia is it's based on solid fact. It has come about over the last few months. It may look like it's come across quickly, but it's actually been based on some very strategic decisions and directions that we've made as an exec team, and we're very, very excited about it.
But it's also very exciting for you as well as the new CEO, within 6 weeks of your tenure, launching a major campaign that actually fits in with the ethos of everybody in Australia. That's what we think. We have the best food. And I've just been, spent quite a lot of time on a cruise ship recently as a guest speaker and so on, and in Hawaii. And I come back to Australia and my wife and I go, oh, thank God, food tastes of something, and it's true. Now, one comment I did make to Nick was, and it's a perception issue, is that most Americans perceive Australia, even having been here, that Australia is expensive to eat in. And I said to Nick the other day, and I'm sure you'll have a comment on this, that it's actually a perception because it's not accurate. Because by the time you add the tip and the state taxes and so on in the States, then if you compare the end price, But how are you going to communicate that to, say, the US market? Because Australia all of a sudden is on the agenda in the US.
Yeah, no, it is, absolutely. And what I think the great thing about this campaign is that it's user-led. So it's going to be the stories, the platforms that we're able to take forward are going to be user-generated. User-generated from industry, and then user-generated from the consumer. And I think that's been the success of There's Nothing Like Australia. We got Australians to tell the story about Australia, and they do that better than anyone else, better than any ad agency and better than any of us at Tourism Australia. So we're taking the exact same formula, applying that to industry and applying that to consumers. What that does is it opens up the entire gambit of food and wine experience. So yes, it can be dining at Key Restaurant, one of the best restaurants that the country has to offer, but equally it can be about fish and chips on Manly Beach, or one of my favourite locations is a steak sandwich at the Sunshine Beach Surf Lifesaving Club up on the Sunshine Coast. So that's the theory behind it, and that's the beauty of the campaign, that will capture, because of this user-generated led focus, the entire gambit of experiences.
Moving into Tourism Australia as an organisation, obviously, a quasi-governmental organisation, but funded by the government. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, well, look, the majority of our funding comes from government, but we also have a significant amount of commercial partnership revenue, both direct and indirect, and also partnerships with other government organisations.
So is the Tourism Australia under John going to be any different, or are there going to be any significant changes as far as your 6-week tenure? to the Tourism Australia previously? Do you have a vision? Do you have an ethos? Do you have methodologies that you like to apply into organisations?
Well, the key methodology for me right now, John, is getting out and talking to the industry.
Yeah.
So, you know, key stakeholders like yourself,
Yeah.
a lot of the people that are here with us today at ATE, up here in Cairns. So it's really at the moment for me about working through the industry, talking to the industry, getting their perspective, getting their views, and starting to sort of form that into my ethos and my approach. And it's also importantly about talking to the staff and the team at Tourism Australia, because one of the great things that I think that I've been very fortunate to inherit is a very good organisation, a very well regarded organisation, both by the industry but also by the commercial sector in which we work, and also throughout the state and territory tourism organisations. So for me at the moment it's really about sort of understanding the business, getting myself reacquainted with the industry, and from there the strategy will flow. But Andrew's left behind a very successful business, and it's about continuing that trajectory.
Well, let's make sure we have a chat in 12 months' time.
I look forward to that.
We'll see if you've still got a full head of hair then, or if it's all fallen out with stress. I doubt very much, but look, we'll look forward to it. Maybe in 12 months' time, let's do another review and see what your views are.
John, I'd love to do
and
that.
of course, that may or may not be associated with financial scenarios. Who knows? Thank you.
Thank you.